Nick Pelton, everybody. My friend Nick Pelton. All right, thank you, Trip. Thank you, Tumbleroot. How are you guys all doing tonight? Excellent. Making me clap a second time. Woo! Man, I gotta tell you, you get a rush, a certain special rush every time you get on stage. It's hard to describe. It's like post-nut clarity, but times 1,000, if you know what I mean? Like everything that seemed like a good idea back there in the green room, the second you step on stage, you're like, oh shit, I should have wrote a joke. Oh shit, I need to take a whiz. Like this shirt seemed like a good idea in the green room, and then I step on stage and I go, oh no, I'm in my 30s. I can't, there's no social situation where I should wear this out in public, ever. Not even in Santa Fe, I'm afraid. Trust me, from this perspective, I've learned a lot. Instead of regretting who you just had sex with, you regret every decision you've ever had in one fell swoop. You know what I hate about shirts? Is when people try to talk to me about the shirt that I'm wearing, and I have no idea what they're talking about. Do you know what I mean? It's like I'm like buying a coffee or something like that, and the clerk is like, Chewbacca? I'm like, what? What are you fucking talking about? Han Solo? And I'm like, look pal, whatever you're trying to get me to do, I don't do that anymore, okay? I don't care what my reputation is on the streets, I've changed. And the guy's like, no man, you've got a Star Wars shirt on. And I'm like, buddy, listen, do I look like the type of guy who knows what his shirt says? You know what I mean? I look like I wake up in the morning, go in the closet, and read every shirt that I've got like a book. Like, oh, which one of these fits my mood for the day? No, I reach into the dark, grab whatever I can find, put it on, I hope that it doesn't say anything racist, and I go on with my day. Because you know for a fact, I didn't read it when I bought it either, you know? I just hope for the best. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. This is an angry way to start this, you know? I'm sorry about that. Maybe this is probably a sign of good mental health right here. You guys like October? Is this a nice time of the year? You guys like Halloween and everything like that? The weather starts changing, you start collecting your razor blades and your candy and everything. It's great. I'm a big fan of horror movies, by the way. I don't know if the rest of you guys are. A couple quick recommendations for you. If you're into full frontal nudity in your horror movies, recommend Return of the Living Dead. If you like naked chicks in your horror movies, I would go with Carrie. If you like it when some lady's just walking around in the buff for no reason, I would go with Life Force. And if you want to see a fat guy hang dong, I can't recommend enough the remake for Suspiria. That's where you want to go. And I say this, I'll tell you what, I'm a straight guy, but I can appreciate a dong in a movie. You know what I mean? I'm not afraid. It's rare enough that it's like like New Mexico's an arid climate, so you're not supposed to have a lot of rain. But if a rainbow comes out, you want to appreciate it, right? You kind of want to say, oh, look, everyone gather around, come here, look, there it is, a dong. Oh, wait, before it goes away, let's take a picture with it, real quick. And if you're really lucky, you get that double dong. Doesn't happen much though, you really gotta cherish it when it does. Again, straight guy. Now, I'll tell you what, I remember this very clearly, my dad's favorite horror movie was The Shining. And I have a feeling that my dad wasn't the only one. That's right. Dads love The Shining. I think that's a fact. And I think it's pretty fucking suspicious, don't you? You know? Your dad's favorite movie isn't Pursuit of Happiness, where Will Smith makes sure his son has a bright future. No. Your dad's favorite movie is about a man who spends time with his family for 3 days and goes fucking nuts. And you know it's 3 days because it tells you the day of the week. It's like, Monday. Boy, I love spending time with my family. Tuesday. Starting to lose it here. Wednesday. By Wednesday, it's Here's Johnny. He's already going for it. And I'm watching this movie with my dad, and I'm like, why do you like this movie again, Dad? And he's like, shut up, he's about to grab the axe. Come on, shh. I would sit on the floor, my dad sat on the couch with his axe. He liked to watch it with his axe, named Mr. Righteous. But I'm an older guy, and you know, now that I'm an adult, I can kind of understand it a little bit more. I don't have kids, I'm not around kids. In fact, most of the time I forget that kids even exist. So if I see them, I'm like, what the fuck? What am I, in Middle Earth right now? Like, are you a goblin? Might as well be. But still, even then, it's like after about 5 minutes, I'm like, bro, your twin girls are great and all, they talk a lot. Do you have an axe by any chance? Like, so I get it. I don't know how my dad put up with it. It was amazing. I can like remember a dinner at the Pelton household, and it was just this cacophony of noise. Because I'm just banging everything with my silverware like this. And my mom is asking us inane questions. How was school today? How was school? And I can't sit still in my chair. I'm just clunking around like this. How was school? My brother's putting ketchup on everything. Did your teachers talk to you? How was it? And then finally my dad goes, that's enough! I'm gonna go watch The Shining again. I'm just gonna go watch The Shining again. And my mom's like, honey, you watched that this morning. And he's like, yeah, well maybe it's gonna end differently this time, you know? And so that made me think, they should do a re-release of The Shining. It should be called The Shining Father's Day Edition. And it should end the way that he's wanted it to the end this entire time. He finally chases down the kid in like 6 seconds, because he's a fucking little kid, just done. Gets the wife, and then he sits there and he writes this play, and it's the greatest play ever written. And when they find him 3 months later, he hasn't cleaned up, there's blood everywhere, the corpses are rotting, and he's like, here, this is the play. And they put him up against the judge, and the judge totally gets it. The judge is like, frankly, I don't know how you made it 3 days. We're giving you community service. That's The Shining your dad wants. That's the movie we're gonna give him for Father's Day. Cool. Usually at this point I like to check in with the audience and do a little bit of a visual assessment, but I can't see shit with these lights. I can just see one guy. There's just one guy I can see down here. Yeah, he's signaling to me. Hello. Listen, buddy, you better be representative of the rest of the audience. Okay? Everybody else better be wearing Buddy Holly glasses and plaid. Does that sound right? Good. Okay, actually, because it's on you at this point. I'm not even to blame at this point. Because frankly, I've run out of jokes. In fact, I'm going to talk about a joke that I never even heard. I consider this to be, I'm not a romantic guy, but I consider this to be the joke that got away, if you know what I mean. So I was at an airport, and I was just minding my own business, eavesdropping on every conversation I could. And there was this couple who was kind of behind me over here, and this just like this ragged, schlubby looking couple, this couple that looked like they couldn't handle ordering a sandwich from the bar. And they were arguing, and finally the lady says to the guy, she says, well, do you know what? Things have never been the same since that joke you told in Daytona. And that shut them up. They got up and left, and I was like, oh my God, what is this fucking joke in Daytona? What is this joke that clearly wrecked the lives of this couple? It was obvious that this couple was on their worst timeline. Like, they both looked like they had potential. He might have had like a baseball scholarship, and she could have maybe been a businesswoman, but then he told the joke. And that's where they are now. And so I should have just ran over to him and been like, please, for the love of God, if you don't tell me what that joke is, I'm gonna regret it every single day of my life. But I didn't. I let him pass on by. Just like a sad romantic comedy. But clearly on their worst timeline. And I feel like because I missed that, I'm on my worst timeline. But I'm gonna say this. Can we talk about multiverse theory for a second? You guys know multiverse theory? Woo, everything, everywhere, all whatever. I'll tell you what a fucking jack-off theory that is. Here's the concept. There's infinite universes out there, so no matter how bad of a job you're doing in this universe, you can always say, oh, I'm doing a great job in the other universe, you know what I mean? That's like the psychology of it. It's all a big excuse. Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, I'm bombing right now in this universe, but who cares? I'm doing great in another universe. Like if someone comes up to me and says, oh, I'm really into multiverse theory, I'm like, oh, so you fuck shit up, do you? Great. You'll fit right in around here. And also, who comes up with a theory like this? Here's my theory. I think it was a physicist who was pulled over for a DUI. I think that's where multiverse theory came from. It's like, well, you know, officer, there's infinite universes out there, so maybe in one of those universes you give me a ticket, but in this universe, who knows, you know? That's where I think multiverse theory came from. It's absolute bullshit. And yeah, this guy who told this joke, actually I want to give a second, let's give it up for this American hero who told this joke. He probably knew what he was getting into. He probably knew he was on the crossroads of fate, and he's looking in one direction. He says, okay, I can do that baseball scholarship and have a happy family, or I can tell the joke. And he chose the joke. That's a hero. That's like a patron saint of putting your foot in your mouth. Do you know what I mean? He should have a statue at the Vatican. And, well, I don't know. I just hope to God that, I don't believe in God or anything, but I hope to God that at some point, he or she or whatever could deliver to me a joke with such atomic potential to destroy not only my life, but the lives of my loved ones. You know what I mean? I want that golden opportunity where I'm like, well, I could take that promotion and get that job I've always wanted, or I could tell the joke. And I'd like to think I'd tell that joke and watch it go off like Oppenheimer. And instead of saying, I've become death, I'll say, I fucking killed it. That's what I'll tell. What do you think? Do you guys like science? Do you like this stuff? Yeah! Who doesn't like science when they're drunk? That's how I feel about it. When I sober up, no, not for me. But when I'm drunk, let me in the lab. Here's another fun one. We'll wrap it up with this. This is a scientific concept. Does anyone here in the audience know what to do if a black hole starts approaching Earth? Do we know what to do here? Anyone in the audience? Yes, you guys are unprepared. Thank God I'm up here. So no, Albuquerque, don't shoot your gun at it or anything like that. I'll tell you what you do. What you do is you fly towards the black hole, and you want to lay back, feet first, like this. This is very important. And I'm going to explain why. As you head towards that black hole, time starts to dilate. It starts to slow down. But here's the thing about time slowing down. Usually when time slows down, you feel the whole world around you slowing down relatively, so you don't actually notice. You can't actually tell. But when you're flying into the black hole this way, it slows down at different rates for different parts of your body. So it'll slow down faster for the lower half of your body than for the upper half of your body. So about this time, you start jerking off. You see? Doing whatever down there that pleasures you, whatever you like. If you can get a partner involved, all the better, but that's risky, because you might not pull it off. But the idea is that as time dilates, as you stretch out, whatever usually takes like 30 seconds down here will feel like about 10,000 years up here. Do you get it? It's science. You gotta think like a scientist who's also a pervert. That's how you do it. So the point being, fuck multiverse theory, and I don't believe in heaven, but I'm pretty sure I've just invented it. So that's all I've got, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much. Thank you to Tumbleroot Brewery. Thank you to Trip, your wonderful, timely host. Nick Pelton.